What's going on, people? What's going on? Happy Sunday morning. Sitting around drinking my hoo-hoo. Drinking my black coffee. Drinking my hoo-hoo. About to hit the gym. Gonna be training with a client on about, I don't know, 10 o'clock, an hour from now. Thought I'd do a live video. Got my farmer's tan going on. We are all ready to roll. So, woke up this morning, saw we had new Mr. Olympia. That was exciting and wonderful and scandalous news. What's everybody up to this morning? I also saw what's going on, Tim? I also saw Mr. Olympia's wife, Mrs. Heath. And I posted this over on the Massive Iron Facebook group. What's going on, Omar? What's going on, the Roo? Posted this over on the Massive Iron Facebook group that Mrs. Heath said, "You'll never see him again. You'll never see him again." So, what's going on, Stefan? John, how's it going? I gotta show you guys something. All right, this right here. This is the outright bar. We sell this over at Tiger Fitness. They're all out of stock, but if you guys ever are looking for a natural protein bar, you got to check those out because all real ingredients, all good stuff. So what's everybody up to today? I'm going to hit some back today and help one of my clients learn how to squat and deadlift. And I'll be doing a Q&A till about 9:30, then I got to hop off. Do you wake up and do a load of mobility and stretches? No, I don't really do any of that stuff at all. I just wake up and drink coffee. That's all I'm doing. Complete truth. Would you recommend a 30-minute walk every morning? Absolutely. Walking is one of the best things you can do for overall health. Walking is one of the best things you can do for just mental health as well, just to get out in the sun, just to get out and get some fresh air, all that kind of good stuff. There's very few downsides to walking, and it's just a good way to get your cardio in and clears your head. Let's see, Anthony says it's afternoon here in a bit, but never too late for the BHUD show. I just kind of popped on randomly, so I had time today. The Roo says, do you kettlebell snatch for your rear delts? Do you kettlebell snatch? I'm sure the kettlebell snatch would be okay for the rear delts. I don't know anybody that specifically does a kettlebell snatch for the rear delts, but they would certainly target the rear delts. Let's see, what do you think 110-pound dumbbell press would equal on a barbell? Let's see, a single 110. Probably I would guess that you bench maybe 250, 260, 270-ish. I would guess. No stretch before coffee. I wish this new phone would stop trying to focus. No stretching before coffee. First we coffee, and then we don't stretch. I don't have time to stretch, to be honest with you, not being disrespectful when it comes to stretching. The people that like to stretch. Let's see. Make sure I don't miss anything. What's going on? What's going on, folks? Glad everybody could join me this morning on short notice. I'm going to be doing this till about 9:30 Eastern time. Then I got to hop off. Just to let you guys know, I'm taking on 5 new clients. And you can check it out over at superlivingtoday.com. I do weight loss coaching. I do complete power building coaching. Hands-on workout critique, all that kind of good stuff. It involves form assessments, everything. You have complete access to me. 24 hours a day, I'll, check your form, check your workouts, give you advice, whatever. So I have room for 5 more clients. If you guys are interested, check it out at superlivingtoday.com. Let's see. Why can't sorry, the stupid phone won't stop trying to focus. It's not enough natural light in this room. Why can I deadlift over 500 pounds, but I can't power clean 225? I mean, when I was deadlifting 600 pounds, I couldn't power clean 225 because I wasn't really power cleaning. Now it sounds like you're doing both. Power clean is a far more technical movement. It's not a brute strength movement. And it's something you just have to work at. I mean, it's hard to say why, but whenever you look at two exercises, you have to understand that they're not the same exercises. That's the bottom line. No matter how many similar muscle groups they use, there's always going to be different muscle groups and different leverages and different pulling planes and all that kind of good stuff. So I mean, I wish I could sit here and scientifically tell you why or physiologically tell you why, but that isn't going to help you. The only thing that'll help you is to focus on what you can control, and that is continue to work on your power clean form and continue to push yourself. I really don't have the answer to that. I wish I did. What's your favorite rear delt exercise, seeing as it's back day? Rows. Rows are my favorite rear delt exercise. I don't like to do rear delt work. Never really did rear delt work. It's funny, but when you see guys have been lifting for a very long time, they've been bench pressing for a very long time, they have very overdeveloped front delts, right? Just from the pressing. But if you tell that same lifter that they can develop their rear delts by pulling in the opposite way, a row, a seated cable row, they will give you a lot of grief and tell you need some lightweight rear delt exercise. I tend to, while I'm not against rear delt exercises, I do know that if you work your rows and your pull downs and all that kind of stuff and get very, very strong, that you're going to develop rear delts. And as far as rear delt exercises, you know, face pulls are okay. I'm not a big fan of them personally. I just don't really ever feel I'm getting a lot of, I mean, you get some mind muscle connection stuff going on, but you know, it never really feels powerful. It never really feels like like I'm accomplishing much with the exercise. If I do any rear delt exercise, it's probably going to be bent over flies, or, you know, the flies where you're sitting up, where you're leaning over, not upside down. What am I talking about? I need more coffee. You need, where you're leaning over and doing a reverse fly. Those just always feel better to me, but mileage may vary. Let's see what's going on. You have to get the Note 9 just like Alan. Yeah, I just bought this phone, unfortunately. And while this phone has a better camera than my last phone, it has a tendency not to want to focus as much. So it's really a little bit annoying. Eric says, do you do any wide grip barbell rows? No. I just don't see, I mean, honestly, I don't see the point in doing a lot of this stuff. There's like so many damn exercise variations. And there's so limited amount of time in the gym. I stick to the basics. I really don't, I mean, I'll play around and I'll try different exercises. I always have tried different exercises. But at the end of the day, the basics work. And a lot of people attack weaknesses or perceived weak areas with all these specialty exercises, when in reality, all they really need to do is get stronger on the basic exercises. Because as I've said many times, if you're trying to weakness train, you know, just try to attack the strength from head to toe. Try to make everything from head to toe as strong as possible. Treat everything as a weakness, especially on the major lifts. So I don't know why I would do a wide grip barbell row. I'm sure, I mean, when it comes to exercise variations like this, there's a lot of intelligent discussion out there on them from individuals, and I'm certainly not discounting this intelligent discussion. Folks are out there talking about these exercises and the benefit, and I'm certain it's quite reasonable whenever somebody frames these exercises in a video or in an article. But at the end of the day, again, I have a limited amount of time in the gym. I am going to do the basics because I know they work, and I don't want to waste my time. That's as simple as that. Let's see, my 2 cents says power clean is about explosiveness and time, etc. Do you have any opinion about the new Mr. Olympia? I saw a few pictures scroll by on my Instagram feed, and Phil Heath had Phil Heath had some good size, but he still has that big gut. Every time he would turn around and do a back pose, he's got that big gut. And you know what? Bodybuilding is unhealthy. It's an unhealthy endeavor. It's extremely unhealthy. It's a collection of drug abusers, extreme drug abusers. And I don't care what anybody tells you. I don't care what kind of lies people try to, twist and turn and make it look like it's not as bad as it seems and all this kind of stuff. That's crap. If we found out what these guys were doing to win, to get to the top, and it's not about money, it's about winning. When you get to that level, it's about winning, and people will do whatever it takes to win. And some people, a lot of these guys just have huge egos. They want to be number one. So I know this is going down a rabbit trail, but it's not a sport about health or fitness. It's simply not. It's a drug abuse contest. And if we're going to look at winners, at least we can pick somebody a little bit more aesthetic that doesn't have a big gut for whatever reason. So that's my opinion. I didn't really look at pictures of Sean Roden. I don't know what his gut looks like if he has one, but the sport in the 70s and 80s used to be more relatable. It used to be men like, these guys use a little bit of drugs, or even a lot of drugs. I don't really know, but it was something you felt connected with. A bunch of guys in the gym. It was about the gym. You'd see pictures, black and white pictures in the gym, and these guys were grinding it out with heavy weights, and it just felt real. It felt real, and maybe I'm the old guy in the room, but it just doesn't feel real to me nowadays. So it just feels like a drug abuse contest. Gladys says, I want to ask you, if you could change anything on the Massive Iron book, what would it be? Nothing really to change. There's more information I need to get out there about other forms of training. It's certainly not a comprehensive book of my philosophies. I'm actually working on more material right now. As we speak, actually, I've been writing. My wife Fiona has a new business, and I sit in the office and back and writing. So I have a lot of new material coming out, a lot. And this material is going to be comprehensive. It's going to feature a lot of different workout styles, a lot of my training philosophies. So just look for that soon. Should I hit chest hard once a week or not as hard twice a week? Questions like that, hard can mean with a lot of volume. It can mean with a lot of intensity or heavy weight. So hard means two different things to two different people. If you're going to go heavy one day, like work up the singles, doubles, or triples, and then do some back off work, the second day you probably want to do some volume work. And after your volume work, you probably want to schedule like 3 days off, because the volume work is probably going to make you sore. It might actually beat you up more than the heavy work. But if I was doing 2 days a week, I'd probably do the heavy work on Monday. This is just a general template. Take 2 days off, Tuesday and Wednesday, come back on Thursday, and do a little bit more volume. I'm not talking about an extreme amount of volume, but that would give you Friday, Saturday, and Sunday off to recover, and you could come back on Monday. So that's probably what I would do if you're training bench twice in a week, which isn't a bad idea at all. Let's see, Jose says, what do you think is better for mass, rack pulls or rows? Honest answer to this question, Jose, both. It's not really an either or question. You know what? If you're looking at rack pulls and rows, you have to do both. You have to do both. For a big back, you have to do, there's 3 components to a big back. A deadlift or pull, and this can be a floor deadlift or a deadlift from 3 inches or 5 inches off the ground, so a rack pull or block pull, a lower rack pull or block pull. And so you have to do a deadlift. You have to do a horizontal row or pull, which is a dumbbell barbell row. And to a lesser degree, you can add in seated cable rows. And you have to do a vertical pull or row, which is lat pull downs, pull-ups. That is the upper body has certain movements planes: a push, a pull, a horizontal push and pull, a vertical push and pull. So when it comes to the back, you need a horizontal and vertical pull or row and the deadlift. So the answer to your question is both. What's your all-time favorite once in a blue moon cheat meal? When we cheat, it's almost always on ice cream and tortilla chips. Almost always. Nearly every time. Right, Fiona? Yeah. I mean, if I'm going to go off the wagon and have some food, it's going to be that. Occasionally cheesecake. How much cardio do you hit when cutting? Well, the first thing you want to do when you're cutting is not overdo the cardio. You want to dial in your diet. Get your diet nailed in while doing about 3 sessions of cardio for 20 to 30 minutes a day. That level of cardio is just for general health. And it will certainly, the movement will certainly assist with the weight loss. But with a reasonable amount of cardio in play, you have to dial in your diet. And you have to continue to dial in your diet until you are losing weight consistently. And when I'm working with clients that, they kind of stagnate at a certain calorie intake, I will then maybe suggest increasing the cardio just a little bit, moving it from, a couple sessions a week to maybe getting them to go walk or getting them to go hike. Hiking is really a good way to increase the bang for your buck when it comes to calories burned for time, actual time investment. So just think of cardio when cutting as a baseline for overall health, and then dial in your calories. When your calories are dialed in, then you can kind of, if you're stagnating from there, or if you want to increase the rate of fat loss, or maybe you want to eat a couple hundred more calories a day and just hike a lot and lose the same amount of weight, which is certainly possible, then you can increase the cardio. But don't overdo the treadmill grinding. Get outside, for the love of God. Jackson says, what do you think of a conjugate system without using so much bands and chains? You know what? The conjugate system, I mean, you can really, bands and chains don't have to be part of a conjugate system. You can do a lot of work without bands and chains. There's so many exercise variations. So if you don't have bands and chains and you're a near advanced lifter, yeah, you can make it work. But I'm no expert on West Side. So DDD says, how many push-ups and pull-ups can you do? I can do a lot of push-ups. I do push-ups weekly, and I usually do 3 sets for 25 to 30 after I do my bench work. So I don't try to really increase my push-ups. I just use them as kind of pump work after my bench sets. Pull-ups I've always sucked at. I think I can probably do a handful right now. We do them occasionally. I don't do them a lot. But I've always had I was talking about this yesterday, I've always had really strong triceps and really weak biceps. And I just suck at wide grip pull-ups. If you have a neutral grip pull-up, I can do a lot more. So it's just kind of funny the way that works. What's going on? Guess who's back there drinking from the hoo-hoo?
My hoo-hoo's very hot.
Yeah, I bet it is. Natural Elitist Crew checking in. Okay, not sure what that means, but thanks for checking in. Rack pulls destroy bars, don't they? Not if you pull off wooden blocks. And if you don't have wooden blocks, you can usually figure out a way to pull off something off rubber plates or something. So yeah, they're not generally a good idea for bars. Let's see. I'm trying to get through all the questions. Deadlifting off 3-inch blocks is actually more efficient for me. No. Are you an alien? No. It's easier on the lower back. And it's it's something I recommend that most lifters try to incorporate into their routine. I like the rotation between deadlifting off the floor and deadlifting off 3 to 5 inches the next week. I think that's a good rotation. It's a little bit easier on the lower back, and it's good to get your pulling strength strong from that area. Let's see. Benny Boy says, do you think a good split plan is rotating 1 times, 2 times, and 3 times weekly body part frequency over the course of a month? I've sat down and tried to work out the logistics of that, and it can be kind of a nightmare at times, but it can be done. But if you like to rotate, body part splits and frequency, that's a good way to do things, especially when you're an intermediate lifter, because frequency training can sometimes be a nuisance just because of all the warm-up sets involved, especially when you get stronger. All the stuff you have to do. It's just so many exercises you have to do in a workout generally. So yeah, that can be a good way to train. Any way can be a good way to train as long as you pencil it out correctly. Should I do 3 times a week full body workout and with isolation for arms and shoulders? Is it optimal for strength and size gains? So you're talking about a full body workout with isolation for arms and shoulders. I do isolation for arms and shoulders every week, regardless of the type of program I'm doing. And I assume you mean after compounds and not in replacement of compounds. If you are talking about doing a full body that has no compounds for shoulders, no, that's an awful idea. If you are talking about a compound or a full body workout that has compounds for shoulders and then adds in isolations for arms and shoulders, absolutely. Don't be one of these guys that drinks the Kool-Aid of these knuckleheads in the fitness and lifting world who will tell you don't need direct arm work. They're fools, and they're weak, and they're small, and I guarantee it. I went without. I tried it for without it. I tried not doing direct arm work for a year, and even though my bench was strong, I started to pick up a lot of strains in my biceps, my brachialis, and my eccentrics would slow down. And what this taught me was that when I added arm work back in, it taught me that this stuff went away, and it taught me that arm work was very important. I also lost an inch of size off my arms. Now, some of you that are in the strength training side of things will say that's not important, but strength contributes to size. A bigger muscle will have more potential to generate power. So when you're doing a full body, don't shy away from isolation exercises. Let's see. SS says, first time in doing live Q&A. Pretty cool. Thanks. Glad you could check me out. I didn't announce it. I just kind of went. Steve, what's your AMRAP for benching Fiona? I've never benched Fiona for as many reps as possible. Perhaps we could do a video on that sometime. If this damn phone would. It's not enough natural light, and you just jumped in. You're messing up the camera there now. Yeah, maybe I'll do a video of that sometime. Let's see, Steve, push-ups and pull-ups every day or only on chest and lat days? If you're going to do push-ups and pull-ups and you want to try to improve them, I would probably not jump into every day, because I know from my time in the military when I did push-ups every single day that it tended just to beat me up a little bit, my elbows and shoulders. So I know some guys out there will say every day, and it certainly can be done, but I prefer every other day. I would, if you're going to do push-ups and pull-ups every day, either do them in the morning, separate from your workout, or do them after your workout. So I would probably alternate push-ups and pull-ups every other day. So push-ups on Monday, pull-ups on Tuesday, push-ups on Wednesday. You get the thing, but that's what I would do. And you know what? If you're worried about them impacting your other body part progression, your body will acclimate to this demand, and you might have some initial soreness. Just be really smart. If you're sore or pull-ups, frequent push-ups are impacting your bench press or making your body feel wonky, just go a little bit lighter on bench, go a little bit lighter on rows, and give your body time to figure out what you're doing. Let's see. Chris says, rep goal doing push, pull, and split between heavy and moderate days. What should I do when my weights on moderate days are starting to get up towards my heavy days? Celebrate, really. I mean, I'm not trying to be facetious here, but if you have a heavy day and you have a moderate day, and your moderate day weights are getting very strong compared to your heavy day weights, and your heavy day weights are no longer your heavy day weights. They're probably too light for a heavy day. But, you know, I don't know without looking at the numbers, but I will say that you're making progress. So don't overthink this stuff. Keep doing what you're doing. Keep pushing for progression. It's paying off, and you're doing wonderful. So don't overthink it. There's nothing you need to do. You're doing everything right, and you're making progression. So you're making progress. So keep going. Let's see. I got time for a few more questions, and I have to hop off and get to the gym. Is a dirty bulk and cardio the exact same as a clean bulk? You need to be doing cardio no matter who you are at any time in life. So if you're just sitting around doing a dirty bulk, eating shit food and not doing any cardio, you know, you're in a sloppy, lazy ass slug lifestyle, and you need to reassess what the fuck you are doing with your life. And I'm not trying to be hard on anybody. I'm not trying to be an asshole. But look, if you're sitting around just piling in dirty bulk food and not doing any form of cardio, you are on a nasty path, and you need to get your shit together, because that is not a good plan for health. And lifting without health is not a good long-term plan. So get your cardio in. And I don't know why you're dirty bulking, but don't overdo the dirty bulk food, because youth will mask the impact of this stuff. But as you get older, you realize all that crap food you're eating is really impacting your body. You just don't know it. All right, guys, I'm going to head off. If you need any coaching, power building coaching, weight loss coaching, or whatever, check out the information I have below to superlivingtoday.com. If you need exercise form assessment, diet help, workout assessment, I do all those services as well. Or if you just want a Massive Iron t-shirt, you can get it over at superlivingtoday.com. All right, guys, thanks for watching, and have a great day. She's not even going to stay.
Stay super sexy.
Yeah, stay super sexy.
I was on the floor.